This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am absolutely thrilled to be speaking with an incredible artist, singer-songwriter from Atlanta, the one and only KEEYEN Martin. Hello, KEEYEN, how are you?
Hello, I am excellent. How are you?
KEEYEN, doing so much better now that we're finally talking. My goodness, you do it all. You're kind of a Renaissance man. Talk to me a little bit about young KEEYEN. Were you always singing growing up, playing instruments? Like, what was the musical life of young KEEYEN like?
I was absolutely one of those that grew up in church every day of my life. That was my foundation. My father is a pastor and a singer and musician, and my mom sings as well. So that was, my launching pad, so to speak, where I was inundated with music that progressed throughout all of my education as a artsy kid. I was in every imaginable talent show, rehearsal, play, musical, and I knew probably around kindergarten even that I wanted to do this for the rest of my life. And I just immersed myself in not only growing as a singer, but just growing as a lover of the arts in all its many facets and all its many genres. And it's just been a beautiful experience to grow and evolve to the present day, Kian.
I love it. And now, when, KEEYEN, did you realize that in addition to an amazing singing and acting talent, whether it's, your love of music and theater and all of these different disciplines, but when did you realize that you also wanted to then, parlay into songwriting?
I want to say around the age of 10 or 11. I just remember I specifically fell in love with poems and haikus. And I remember it was like only a 5 stanza poem. And it taught me about like rhyme scheme and repetition and couplets. And I think when I started to delve into that, and I always just love literature and language arts. I remember it was an early class like in middle school. And when we would have like the writing test, I just started to think like, wow, what if I took the same approaches to literature, to language arts, to poetry, and I started to create my own songs. And so around 10 or 11, I remember early on, I think I wrote a song called, I think it was called Love Jones or something like that.
I freaking love it.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it already.
Yes, and before you know it, I just remember every day as a part of my kind of downtime after school, I would just write and write and like your traditional like composition book, and before I knew it, my mom, she found the book and she was like, "Oh my goodness, like you're like almost filled it with songs." And yeah, that set the tone for sure. Around about 10 or 11.
That's amazing. And speaking of original songs, you obviously have quite a few out there, but one in particular you recently released the official music video for. Talk to me a little bit about your song, You Should Know, the impetus behind it, not only the writing of the song, but also the concept behind the music video.
Definitely. So you should know, I would say, is one of the more recent songs that really culminates a personal experience. A lot of times as a creative, what I love about what we do, we become masters of creating a world, creating a space for not just ourselves to have a place in, but other people can feel connected to that space, right? And so with this song, I wanted to speak personally about my experience. Just a little bit about the song. It's primarily speaking about, when a relationship has reached its end, whether it be familial, something that is more just like a regular friendship where it's platonic, or a love relationship, and how at the end of the day, I think it's important to recognize when it's time to let go. You should know that you have to let it go. And one of my favorite lines of it is, don't take it personal, because a lot of times when you give and give and give and you invest and invest, you feel a sense of obligation to hold on to a thing that you know in your heart it's time to transition from. And so for me, it was my way of declaring, hey, don't take it personal. I'm doing this for me. It's we've had our run, it's been beautiful, but it's time for me to let this go. And the visual, I wanted it to be indicative of my upbringing. I remember being a kid, being at my grandmother's house, so the aesthetic kind of has like a more vintagey feel, but it's kind of still has a hint of like, current modern vibes as well. But I wanted it to be a typical day where I'm at home, my love interest is a beautiful model that I wanted, the setting to kind of depict, wow, like, okay, a young love, but we kind of know that we're not really healthy for one another, right? And it kind of just takes us through that day of us riding in the car. We kind of have a disagreement. She leaves with the car, and I'm on a rooftop, but the rooftop symbolizes, okay, the sky is the limit. There's so much more life to live. So you should know, I just got to let this go.
I love it, Kian. Look at, I mean, what an incredible sentiment. I think now more than ever, as we've had these past 2 years to really, I think, dig into ourselves. What do we really want, not only out of life, but in relationships? So I think actually the message of the song is so timely.
Absolutely. For me, my joy is speaking from the heart. And, I've learned over time the heart reaches the heart, so.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Kian, you're an amazing artist who has heart, but not only heart, incredible talent. And I am so excited you're coming on board this incredible new platform, FENIX360. And on top of that, I'm excited that we're now connected because I know that we talked a little bit off camera of obviously not only your love of, this beautiful music career that you have, but also your love of theater and interest in learning more about it. So we will definitely be in touch. And again, I'm just so excited that we're now connected.
Likewise, thank you so much for this opportunity. And I just forever salute amazing creatives like yourself that always extend a platform. So thank you.
Thank you.